Welcome to Double Up 2.0. My name is Jude and I am your host. I'll speak a bit more about myself, but let me introduce you to Double Up. Double Up is a virtual webinar. It's hosted by Double. Double is owned by Sterling Bank. And Double is basically an investment, a digital savings and investment platform that you can get in on and put your money in it and earn more returns. Typically, Double Up has been, this is the second version or the second event. And so we've had 1.0, this is the 2.0. We had 1.0 last year, December, where we hosted Salem, and then he spoke about personal branding and growing your brand visibility and stuff like that. And then at this event, we want to speak a bit more to finance. So this afternoon, we're having two special guests speak with us. They are persons in the financial space, and they'll be speaking with us this evening about the topic that we have before us. And honestly, I am excited about it. Just to give a couple of ice breaks, there will be giveaways, freebies, and so many other things. But basically, I know what we're all here for is information and the empowerment that comes from it. So quickly, without further ado, this event, our title for the webinar is Winning in the Second Half of 2024, Money Trends and Investment Decisions You Should Be Making. And I want to welcome you. Our speakers are Stanley Onuorah, Onlinebanker, and Mojirayo Akinola. She's the team lead, T-Bills and trade sales at Sterling Bank. I'll introduce them a bit more later when their session comes up. But I am Jude Akabwe. I'm your host. I work with Double here in Sterling Bank, and I'm very, very excited to be hosting each and every one of you and every other person. All right, so we all love money conversations, so let's start getting right about into it. Our first speaker this evening is Stanley Onuorah, or you know him popularly as the Online Banker. Stanley Onuorah is the #1 financial inclusion champion in Nigeria. He's always trying to help everybody get into finance and how to make more money for themselves. He has over a decade in banking, spread across commercial banking, microfinance, and even development finance. He's passionate about about micro, medium, small scale enterprises. He's also about fintech and the economy at large altogether. And when in a country like Nigeria, economy and small businesses are things you would be passionate about. One thing he does love to do is he loves teaching a lot. And if you follow him on across any of his channels, you know he loves sharing knowledge, teaching, and discussing about finance. So please, in the chat session, I should just drop little emojis and reactions and just let us hype. You know, if we're a physical session, we'll be about maybe getting up and clapping and cheering and doing stuff. But it's a virtual session and you can do that also in the chat session. So with your emojis, with your chat functions and everything, you can just begin to just drop those things there as we welcome Stanley Onuorah, Onlinebanker, for his session. Thank you so much, Stanley. Over to you. Stanley, I think you're muted.
Technology. Sorry about it. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to have everyone here on the call. I know you guys everyone has something that they're doing, and they took out this time to come and share the space with Double and I here on the webinar. So it's good to have you guys here. Would just quickly rush into what we have for the day, and I'm sure everyone is anticipating what is going to happen this second half of the year. Are we going to make money? Should I run from Nigeria? What should I do? So let's break it down for everyone that is here. I don't know if you don't have the slide, or if you can turn up the slide so that we could just get started. Hello, can you hear me? Moderator, can you hear me?
Confirm you can see the slide.
All right, that's amazing. So Nigeria today, everyone, everyone can tell that the beginning of this year to today, for me as a banker, one of the most fundamental things that has happened and a notable effect that has happened across board. And you will, every Nigerian, if you are really in this country, except you are somewhere outside, you will have felt the pinch of the economy, what we call inflation. How has it affected you? So let's look at what's happening in the news, what has been in news, what has been in news from the beginning of the year and how it has shaped our reality. Um, let's look at the next slide. All right, so I would use this slide. And from the beginning of the year, there's something that has happened that has been very important, and that is even why you are here. One of the most important is how to fight inflation. Inflation could be two things: general rise in price of goods or too much money chasing fewer goods. In Nigeria, we have a bit of the two them. And we have a peculiar situation where income is not growing as fast, inflation is creeping up on your money. If I'll break that money that you are keeping that you don't want to invest in double, that money is slowly losing its value. This is the MBS, this is Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. So if you look at this second slide, this second news here, it says 34% is the year-on-year consumer price index. But what they're telling you is that your money minimum that is losing its value is 34% from last year to this year. In fact, from last month of May to June, it had lost, I added 2.3%. That is why investment is very important and not just allowing your money sit idle. But the CBN in all its might and power has been trying, because the function of the Central Bank of Nigeria is to make sure that you and I have our Naira at inside. You can compete with your friends. And when they bring their Naira, you bring their dollar, you bring your Naira out. Or they bring their CFA, you bring out your Naira. But at this time, Naira is taking a beating. So how can you improve on that? The CBN came out with something and said, the only way that we can reduce inflation. And for people that do not know why the CBN keeps increasing interest rates, is that the CBN is looking at, yeah, into the economy, and then they want to get more returns, because with increased interest rates means that the interest rate that you will get on your savings will improve. Please drop a 1-1 in the chat box. If you can hear me, just drop a 1-1 in the chat box so that I know that everyone is with me. So interest rates that the CBN has kept in, so yeah, that has kept to fight inflation, is something that has helped in our saving, our investments, and that's one of the things that I'm going to speak about today. Now, I want you guys to look at something. In this second news here, it says that the food inflation, that's the amount that you spend on food, is about 40%. That's minimum that you spend on food is about 40%. So you're competing with your food and, oh, should I eat or should I invest? Which one should I do? Oh, I should eat. Oh, if I don't eat my shawarma and burger, or I should go and put my money and get more returns. I will tell you how the stock market, which is another avenue for investment. You know, they said we've received about 1.61 million dollars from just the first half of 2024. And these are some of just the many news that we've heard. There was protests, there was the Dangote saga. All these things affect the economy. But one of the key major things is this interest rate. And what the interest rate has done for you as an avid investor that wants to see their savings increase is that it has given you the opportunity to earn more from your investments. And how can you do that? Is by coming into the money market. Right now, I can tell you for free that if you try to open a small business in any of your, is local government registration, you need to get your business up and running, staff costs, running costs, probably if you use petrol and you don't have adequate power, or if you're on band, lucrative places that you can put your money at the moment is the money market. And I'm sure that is why Double is having this seminar today to enlighten a lot of you. Because this interest is that you're going to put your money, if you have 100 million, I like to use 100 million because me, I like big money. So if I put 100 million, for example, and you are giving 20% of that money, it means that you're going to get 20 million naira in 1 year. Now, this is excluding, you're not going to run any generator, you're not going to employ anyone, you're not to come in. Now, you're going to be asking, is it that I should not do business, or is it that I should take my money from my business and just rush into go and put it inside investment? Wait, that is not it. Now we're going to be looking at the second half of the year, and I was saying, what are the trends? You can move to the next slide. What are the trends that you should follow in this second half of the year? Number one, I will teach you in personal finance. They tell you to diversify. Now, when you're talking about diversification, I don't know whatever that you are currently investing in or whatever business that you do, but have you separated some money for emergency funds? Now, Double by Sterling Bank is by Sterling Bank, and the bank serves as a buffer for you. That's why you have things called emergency funds. You should 6 months of the money that you need, so that in case of anything, you can just take the money and go and rush and do something. But that is why you have the banks there as your savings. You can just have that in savings account. But are you just going to allow your money sit there and not do anything? Because in this second half of the year, we're going to be looking at two things: the Naira volatility. Recently, the news came out just yesterday that the CBN had auctioned dollars to the markets at the retail end. And what it does is that it's supposed to help the Naira improve. But what we have noticed from the beginning of the year is that you went as high as 1,700. Currently, it is at 1.5. Today, as I'm talking to you now, is around 1.5. As at yesterday evening, it was 1.6. So this volatility you cannot predict. And because your money is mostly domiciled in Naira, because if you are listening to me and you're in Nigeria, even if you earn in foreign currency, you need to convert to the local Naira for you to be able to spend. How do you make more of that Naira? Now, this comes down to the investment options that are available to you. For a lot of people, please, if you can't hear me, please, can you put, for the beloved said they can't hear me. If you can hear me, put a 1-1 so that I know that you can hear me and I know that I'm not speaking to just the screen. Thank you. Okay, Dami can hear me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Bolanle. Now, this comes down to the investment options that exist. And like I mentioned, there are so many investment options that exist across board. You can have their high risk investment. People can even tell you as you can put your money in crypto today and make 1 million naira. It's not true. You can go and do Forex today and make 2 million naira. It's not true. If you can go and put your money in farming, and by the end of the year, you're going to double your investment. It's not true. What you need to understand is that there are so many vehicles for investment. It's like someone that wants to go from Lagos to Abuja. You can either go by flight, you can either start trekking from Lagos and get to Abuja in 1 month, but maybe by that time you'll have been very skinny. Or you can take a flight and get to Abuja in 45 minutes, or you can go by sea, probably go through the waterways and stop at where the water ends and take a bus down to Abuja. Different options. You can go by train, find the train routes that exist, or if you If your forefathers had spiritual powers, you can fly through the air, whichever option. But these are all vehicles that can get you to a destination. Now we're looking today at what is the offer that Double is bringing for you. So, like their name said, they want to double your investment. And they are coming at a time where you're coming at a time where the money market is a very creative place for you to invest your money. What that gives you is that, like I mentioned, you don't have a running cost. You're just going to sit in your house. For the people that have 100,000 naira, you can make 20,000 naira as your profits, as in your interest that is there. And it goes as high. I know Doubles they offer as high as 25%. Maybe Moji she will confirm that to me just after I'm done speaking, so that I know that I'm not quoting something that is not on the book. So what it does is that you have the opportunity right now to put in your money first in the money market. I would advise that. Then secondly, people, do not put your money in. See, do not put your money in something you don't understand. You don't need to understand that if you put your money, if I tell you I'm giving you 20% of investment, if you put 100 million, you're going to get a textbook to do that. But if I tell you that you should come and invest in my tailoring business, and in the next 2 years, in the next 2 months, after I'm done attending to two customers that come to do wedding, and then some of them take some of their repairs, and I don't understand the dynamics of that business. I will need you to understand anything that you want to put your money in. That is my second advice to you. Anything that you're going to put your money in, let it be something that you fully understand. One of the major places that you do have currently is whatever you do. So if you're a photographer, you can invest in cameras, you can invest in teaching people how to do photograph properly. You can have like a fair where you exhibit pictures and people come to look at it, and then some people can buy from it. You can see that you move from one stream of income to diversifying into various things still within that sphere that you understand perfectly. Now, these are all investment options for you because you need money for you to get. Investment simply means that something that you put your money, you don't need to be there for some, and then you get your money back. What? Now, I'll ask this question for everyone. Take it to the second slide, please. Take it to the third slide. And this is, I just want to explain the power of investment to you. If I were to ask you now, should I give you 1 million naira right now? As the online banker that I am, I'll just give you 1 million naira. Bah! Or I will give you 10 naira and double it every day for 30 days. Which will you take? Double is already telling us they are doubling our money. So which would you take? This tells you the power of investment. If I had to give you 1 million naira now, you would have 1 million naira cash that you don't need to do anything. That 1 million naira is guaranteed for you. And I'm sure a lot of people will just take that 1 million naira because they are not informed. But this is where double comes in. If you double that money every day for 30 days, you can check your calculator, you can do that. By the first few days, you're going to be getting around 100 and something naira. But by the time you get to the 30th day, you're going to have over 30 days if you double 10 naira every day. This is the power of compound interest. That is why you are advised that you should put it in return. Now, the inflation rate is at 34%. You should keep your money lying idle, not doing anything, buying just shawarma, or you're just debating, okay, what should I do? What should I do? The time that you have left that money that should have brought you returns is going. And then inflation is catching up with you. You might not be able to beat inflation totally, but you can fight inflation. It's just like someone that is going to a battle. You might not be able to give the person a total knockout. But if you're able to give in as much as 8/10 punches or 10/10, you can be declared the winner. So this is what you should be looking at going into the second half of the year as the economy of Nigeria remains as it is. So I'll just stop here so that I could give the moderators. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Wow, very, very power-packed session there. So quickly, who can, in the chat session, can you just drop one or two things that you've learned? I think it has really been very, very impactful in this session, learning about the various happenings in the Nigerian economy, how that influences your money and the ultimate decisions that, well, we'll talk about decisions you should be making. Stanley began talking about it a bit, but we'll speak about it more when Mojirayo comes in. Just for this time, let me just speak a bit as to what Double is. Double is a in an easy way to just explain it, Double it's a digital product, digital savings and investment product. It allows you to invest, save and invest, and earn much more in as returns on your investment. Typically, what you call a high yield savings investment account. That's what Double offers to you. And Double has about three different variants. There's the savings variant. There is under savings, we have targets, fixed, and savings. We have a plan called reward savings. And then we have the investment, which is money market. And Stanley spoke a bit about that. I believe Mojirayo also will speak about it. Basically, Double is owned by Sterling Bank, which means your money is safe, your investment is safe, nobody's running away from anything at all. And everything is guaranteed. We are secured with necessary bodies. And so the integrity of Sterling Bank is there for you to enjoy. So we currently offer rates as high as 25%. Currently, right now, there is an offer that is up to about 22%, and that is available for anybody who jumps in. But I'm not here to bore you with what Double is. We will still talk about that. I promise that there will be gifts and freebies and stuff like that. So the first one would be, it's a small little social challenge. And that is, while you are listening to this session, you can go to our Twitter page at double.ng, or you can head over down to our IG page. And while you are there, just drop a comment about what you are learning or what you've learned so far from Stanley's session or from any moment in this webinar so far, and use the hashtag #DoubleUp 2.0. Go and drop it there. We'll check up for the first three persons, and of course, we'll get in touch with you to reward you an airtime. However, there is a bigger bundle coming up later, and I will speak to that also if you wait to the end to enjoy a whole lot more, not just making use of your money, but earning something on your money even before you earn on the money. Imagine something like that. So quickly, I want to bring up the second speaker, and the second speaker is Mojirayo. Mojirayo Akinola is a seasoned banking professional with over a decade of experience and invaluable expertise in investment banking. Her career has spanned across currency trading, money market, and fixed income securities. She currently works with Sterling Bank as a team lead for treasury bills trading and sales. Mojirayo holds an MBA from the University of Lagos. She's a member of the Financial Market Dealers Association. She's ACI certified and has been a part of many industry relevant training so far. So just as we did for Stanley, if this were a physical session, we'd be cheering and shouting and everything, but well, it is not a physical, it's a virtual session. So from where you are, just with emojis, with all the love that you have, let us welcome Mojirayo as she speaks to her session. She'll be speaking more to the making favorable investment decisions in the second half. Let's welcome Mojirayo to the session. Mojirayo, you can come up while I will try to get your slides on.
Thank you very much, Jude, and the Double team for having me here. And also thank you to Onlinebanker for having done justice to a significant portion of what we're discussing here today. the trends so far in the year. He has mentioned the exchange rates currently being at 1,500. He has spoken to the MPRs being at 26.75. And most importantly, to every Nigerian that has any sort of money anywhere kept, he has also spoken to the inflation. Inflation is currently at 34.19. I'm sure that all of us here knows the impact of that on our portfolio. If you have a portfolio, even if you don't have a portfolio, you already know the impact of that on your pocket. He has also mentioned that we are struggling these days to know whether we should be investing or eating. Where there's life, there's hope. So, like Jude has mentioned, we'll be talking about making favorable investment decisions. So if you are new to investing, or if you're a veteran investor, I mean, we all know that investment is not a marathon, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So there are so many things that you need to consider. You cannot just decide that wake up one morning and say, anybody, just take my money, invest it in something. You have to have put in some thought into it. So let's go right ahead. Jude, can I have the second slide? So when we're talking about investing, I'm sure that it will be simple and easy to say, okay, go and put your money in real estate, or put your money in gold, or put your money in this or that, but we're all different. And so each person's investment needs and requirements differ from person to person. And that's why, as an investor, whether potential investor or ongoing investor, you need to be able to answer the question, why? Why am I investing? Why do I need to invest? Or what am I investing for? So once you have answered this question, you can then move ahead to say, what will I be investing in? However, the question of purpose is what would serve as a compass, to all the other decisions that are critical to your investment choices. And when you say, what would I be investing in? There are, like Stanley has mentioned, a plethora of investment vehicles that you can put your money to, but then you have to personalize it, because it is not a general portfolio, it is your private portfolio. So you need to be looking at, how does this investment work for me? What should I be working on? What should I be looking at? And so you should be looking at what tenor am I interested in? Am I interested in short tenor? Am I interested in long tenor? And this would come as a byproduct of what your cash flow planning is. So you have to sit down and say, okay, this money I have, 500 Naira. How long do I have it for? How long am I willing to tie it up for? Once you have answered the question, then you know what tenor bucket it is that you are looking to put your money in. So peradventure, you are having maybe 1 million Naira, and you know that you, for sure, guaranteed, you're having it for another 1 year. You don't need it you need to pay your rent in a year's time. Definitely you can put it into an investment vehicle that you would be between now and a year, so up to a year. So, but you don't want to be having in real estate. Somebody is telling you, we have real estate fund, you go and put it in it, or we have 3-year bonds or 5-year bonds, and you go and put it in it. There's a danger to that. And we'll be speaking to this as we move on. Once you have already answered the question of why am I investing, these other questions become seamless and easy to answer. For instance, the example I was given, if you need, for instance, if you are saving for your child's university, and the child is still maybe in primary school, you have a long duration, or a long time for which you can hold on to the money. And so you can then take advantage of longer term that you can put your money in. What is the asset type that you're looking at? What are you looking to put your money in? And once you have answered the question of tenor, you'll be able to answer the question of asset type that you should be putting your money in more easily. If you have short-term funds, you should be looking at money market funds, all those ones that blend all sorts of investment vehicles together. You should be looking at short-term government debt instruments, maybe treasury bills. Treasury bills generally last between 3 months to a year. The maximum tenure is about 364 days. So you should be looking at things like that, short tenured instruments. If you're looking to do short term, if you're looking to do mid-term, you can begin to look at short bonds, maybe bonds that range in between 3-5 years, a short mid-term investment securities like that. However, if you have monies to hold for a long time, for a longer time, you can begin to look at equities. You can begin to think about being an angel investor in a startup or something like that. You can decide to put your money in commodities, maybe gold or something. The difference is that the nearness to cash of these securities differ from type to type. So you may easily be able to sell your treasury bill or be able to rediscount your treasury bill, but it will not be as easy to easily get a buyer for your real estate investment. So that's what we're talking about. We're also talking about the returns on investment. If somebody is telling you, okay, come and put your money in my fund, 30 days, maybe 12%, but you know that you can also get another investment, maybe treasury bill or something for 30 days also at maybe 15, 16, 17%, you're a yield hunter at the end of the day because you're looking to maximize your returns. You're looking to take your money from a place where it is earning zero to where it is earning something interesting and nice. Then we can't talk about investments without talking about risk. It's always important. How much money are you able to lose without it affecting your life, your reason, your number one reason, that is the purpose. If you have maybe a risk appetite that is high, you want to be a startup investor or something like that. But if your risk appetite is low, it's always better to just go for the low risk instruments like we've been talking about in the program, Double. He has already said, Jude has mentioned, it is fully backed by Sterling Bank. So Sterling Bank is giving you high yields, 25%, and is taking your risk for you. So that is as good as a risk-free investment, and there's a plethora of options to choose from, either USD, Naira, or whatever it is. You will see all the terms that are boldly stated on the app once you download. And I put the research there, I put the dash there. I know a lot of us, it's a play on word. When you say research, after you have said, somebody has told you, Mojirayo has said it, Onlinebanker has said it, Jude has mentioned it, also go and search by yourself. After the first search has been done, go and research again until all the information that you consider important for your own comfort, for your investment needs have been answered. Now, where do I invest? I know Stanley touched on it when he was saying that you just don't go and meet somebody and say, take my money, invest. You've done a lot in gathering your funds together. You've been disciplined, you've saved your money, then you're looking to invest. Then somebody comes to meet you and say, come and do farming. I'm guaranteeing you 100% return in 6 months. How is that possible? So you need to be putting your money with reputable brands, trusted institutions, time-trusted institutions. And for free today, I'll recommend to use Sterling Bank because we have passed the test of time. We've been here, and it is a credible institution that you can put your money to. If you want to go into a bank, into a branch, if you don't mind, you can go into a branch and talk to somebody. They will definitely link you up with what would be best for you based on what your appetites are that we've already discussed is. And also the Double app, which is a major reason why we're here, is a mobile app. So I already mentioned that if you want to go into a physical location, you can go into Sterling Bank. But if you rather do it from the comfort of your apartment, The Double Up is just there, just download. It's so easy to use. You just follow all the prompts. You'll see all the investment types, the tenor, the yield, all the details that you need to know. Just keep following the prompt, keep clicking. If it is that you want to save, you see the savings options. If you want to invest, you see the investment options and all those other things that you can use to invest easily and freely. Please, let's go to the next slide. Thank you. After we have talked about all the questions that make up the strategy phase of what and how you should be investing, making favorable investment decisions in this H2 2024, you want to ask yourself further questions. Questions like, why not? Questions like, what else? Questions like, how else can I be investing? What else should I be buying? Is my portfolio concentrated? Is it too concentrated in one type of tenor bucket or one type of security type or asset type? Is it denominated in just one currency? Has my portfolio grown to the point where, okay, I can no longer manage this myself. I need to bring in professional help to do this for me. So those are the kind of things that you should be considering. It's not enough to just put your money in something. You need to be doing what works for you and what is favorable to you. Money is not, you have to pay, they say mind over matter or something. So you need to be able to put your mind to what it is that you are doing. And like I always say, key considerations for every investor. Number one should be diversify your portfolio. A lot of people say, oh, government securities are doing so great. They're doing double digits. They're doing 25%. They're doing this, that. And so you have 100 Naira. You take the entirety of your 100 Naira and put it in, let's say, for example, treasury bills, and you have 100 Naira at home and abroad. You take your entire 100 Naira and put it in treasury bills. That is not a wise investment choice to make. You need to diversify your portfolio, and why you do this is such that you reduce your concentration risk, such that if one asset type is not performing well, other asset types in your portfolio will be doing well. And number two, I'll say every investor, you have to learn to hedge your books. You have to learn how to hedge your risk. We are Nigerians on the call. At least most of us should be Nigerians on the call. And the example I would like to share is all the people that were buying dollars last year, maybe 650, 700, and putting their funds in dollar-denominated, some of their funds in dollar-denominated assets. Some people were like, oh no, it's too expensive, 700, they'll do something different, things will be better. Now, they are the ones that are asking the people that have 100% of their portfolio in Naira. They're asking our markets, because if all your 100% of your investment portfolio is denominated in Naira, you haven't hedged yourself on exchange rate risk. So as a Nigerian, you should be able to, and you can't now say, oh, I lost money, I should have done 700 last year. Now, if I had done 700 last year, maybe I'll have made, my portfolio would have been positive by now, because I'll have made double, revaluation profit on my portfolio. Then you now take all your money again, you convert your entire Naira again this year, and you put everything 100% into dollar investment. What if the dollar goes back and it touches maybe 1,000 or 1,200? You'd have lost money again. So it is simple. Always hedge yourself. And as like Nigerians, what I would say to us that we need to be hedging ourselves against, most importantly, is exchange rate risk. And you need to be hedging yourself against inflation. So you need to be trying to match to inflation and getting as close to inflation matched as you can. And very importantly, for everybody that is investing or looking to invest, you have to stay liquid. Stay liquid. You cannot afford to have all your funds tied up in asset classes that are not so fungible. You have to be looking at things that are easily fungible, like banks. When they say cash is king, they say liquidity trumps profitability and stuff like that. Banks have a whole team of so many people managing liquidity. How much more you, the individual investor, that you just have your tiny portfolio that you are managing? It is always important to stay liquid. You don't want to maybe need money for something, then you need to go and sell your 10-year bond that you put your money in to raise money. You're going to definitely make a loss on it. So always try to stay liquid as you can. But then while staying liquid, always make investment choices. Is not a lot of people think that you need a lot of money to invest. On the Doubble app, you can invest with as little as 50,000 in all types of securities. I know that if you even walk into the bank, you can do as little as 100,000 in treasury bills, maybe about 500 or 1 million on bonds, things like that. You don't need to wait until you have 10 million or you have gathered 100 million before you start to invest. And that's what I have to say for this session. I'll hand over to Jude.
Awesome. Thank you, Akinola. Very wonderful presentation. And I think very practical and timely also. Thank you, Mojirayo. Thank you so much for speaking about the different investment platforms. I know you've talked about T-bills, you've talked about the different investment opportunities as much as possible. And it's wonderful to hear these things and the potential of what we have. Hedging money, staying liquid, very, very important in our current economy. Imagine you're in your house, you think you want to go out and then protest starts, and it's important. I was somewhere, we're having a conversation with a couple of friends, and they said in this Nigeria, there are three things you must have. You must have money at home, you must have connection, aka leg, and then three is that you must have cash all the time. You cannot do without having cash. Last year, when the whole Naira issue happened, it was very, very terrible. If you didn't have cash at that period, you have to use Naira to buy Naira. It's very funny. Anyways, I know you have questions around investment and all of those things, so you can start dropping them in the chat. We don't want this to go so rowdy. So if you want to speak, just indicate by raising your hand, and then I'll allow you on mute, and then you can speak. But if you just want to drop it in the chat session, you can also drop that too. People that have dropped questions and feedbacks about products, about maybe investment on Double or investment on Double at some point, we've seen your comments. Also, we'll take note of that and engage you if possible. If you can do a mail right now to double@sterling.ng, we have somebody on ground who will easily respond to you right at the moment. But if not, you can also just do that, or reach out to us on any of our channels and just drop a message, whichever one is easier for you to do it. If you have questions, you can start raising your hands. But just speaking a bit, especially to Mojirayo, how would you say individuals should effectively balance risk and returns when making investment decisions in Nigeria today? How should they balance between risk and getting returns? Mojirayo.
Okay, so balancing risk and returns. We've talked about risk appetite earlier in the conversation. One thing I would want everybody to remember when you're trying to balance risk and return is, yes, stay hungry, but don't be greedy. A lot of us in thinking we are yield hunters, you are hearing rates that are, or discounts or yields that are too good to be true. If it is too good to be true, then it is too good. It is not true, So when you're trying to balance your risk and your returns, yes, it's good to, be a yield hunter, try to get as best possible yields as you can, but then also be circumspect. Somebody's going to tell you, I'll give you 50% in 30 days. You should be able to ask questions. How? What are you putting in the money in? You need to be able to spot red flags by yourself, and it doesn't get better than getting, I think the best yields at the moment now should be between should be in the 20s, maybe 20 to about 26. And if double is already giving you 25%, I mean, what else would you be looking for? So, but when we turn ourselves into yield hunters, we want the very best yield, then somebody will tell you that they are giving you 50% and you fall for it, then you come back and we have to start consoling you. So you have to stay hungry but not be greedy.
Very interesting. I love how you use the word yield hunters, because Nigerians, when you speak to Nigerians, they want to earn 60%, 90%. Everybody wants to get so high. I think Mojirayo, there's also a question. How about USD? What is the best rate? But let's say, what is the favorable rate right now? Because everybody will give you a best rate, but are you sure those best rates are actually best rates? Let's talk about favorable rates. Mojirayo, can you speak to that?
Okay, so for USD investments, depending on what you're looking to put your money in, I'm sure that on Double, there are some investments about 5-6%. If you have larger amounts, I'm sure that the Double team is able to like look at it and see what to do. Like Jude said, best rate is relative. So what you're seeing and saying best rate, somebody wants to give me 6%. I'm sure that if you talk to the Double team, if your funds are commensurate, maybe the tenor is also good, I'm sure that there will be some flex. There are so many funds that are denominated in USD between from 3% to about 7%. I'm sure that you get good dollar investment rates.
Thank you. I can see a hand up.